Welcome to the HohO Show, rated the #1 most listened to podcast on Pluto. So join us now as we discuss news, politics, current events, and so much more. So clear the airways and strap in as we defend the Constitution. Because freedom matters.
We are broadcasting live from the Cottage Studio, so welcome to the HohO Show, and as always, I am your host, HohO. Oops. So welcome, everybody. Welcome, Spreaker. Welcome, Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope. I'm turning my lights down a little bit. I'm a little overexposed. All right, that's good enough. That's good enough. All right, so I am joined in studio today by none other than Mr. Ray. How you doing today, sir?
Good. I hope you're not overexposed.
I was a little bit overexposed. I mean, my forehead was kind of white.
Oh.
Yeah. And hello, Mr. Gatton, the Machine Radio Show over there in Facebook land. How you doing today, sir? Good to see you. So today, guys, we've got some stuff to talk about. Now, again, if you're a softie, if you're sensitive, I would highly recommend that you vacate the premises now, because what I am about to talk about on this episode is really going to anger you and make you a little bit upset. However, if you have the balls, if you have the guts to actually stick around and hear a little bit of facts,
the facts of life,
maybe we can have some fun. It says cutting out badly. What's cutting out badly? Are you, sir, cutting out badly? Now, no, the computer did something totally weird. I have no idea why. Whenever I came home, it was on the it was on the screen for the BIOS, for the motherboard BIOS. I have no idea why it was there. So that's very possible that things are not quite working out the way they're supposed to. But at any rate, you know what? We're going, so it's all good. I don't know. It's happened before on that. I don't know why.
They're messing with you.
I don't know. It's possible. I don't care. Audio stuttering. I don't know. Terribly. I don't know. Try YouTube. See what's going on over there. All right, guys. So we're going to go ahead and dive right into this. I'm hoping everything is going good in Spreaker land. I mean, it looks like everything is fine. And no, your audio is horrible on Facebook. That is weird.
I know on some other podcasts this past week that Facebook was cutting in and out on theirs as well. So it might not be on our end. It might be on Facebook.
It might be on Facebook. And well, that's why I'm like, check YouTube, because if it is a little bit better over there on YouTube land, and then of course in Periscope, then definitely it might just be a Facebook issue, which I mean is definitely understandable. And there's a lot of people out there who says YouTube bad as well. Interesting.
Wow.
I wonder if the recording is all right. Well, I guess we'll find out. I don't know. Anyway. I don't know. Anyway. Maybe we should shut her down and try bringing her back up again.
Reboot the system.
I ain't rebooting the system. It just got rebooted.
Oh.
Like,
take the work core offline.
I ain't doing that. Anyway. Mr. Gatton over there in the in YouTube land is going to check Spreaker right quick for us. I don't see anybody else in chat over there at the moment, so I do apologize for the little bit of a holdup. If anything else is what I'll end up doing is, taking the audio or just taking the whole entire thing, scrapping it on YouTube and Facebook, and then uploading the recording, because I'm sure the recording is absolutely fine. So, yeah, it happens sometimes. Live radio, ladies and gents, live TV, these kind of things happen. I don't know if I can call this TV. What do you think?
Sure, why not?
I mean, it's kind of, could be on TV, it could be.
That's what happens when you overexpose yourself. Things go to hell.
Well, it happened. It was the light bulb. That's what I'm going to blame it on. I'm blaming it on the lights. Spreaker audio is good. Well, that's good to hear. You couldn't put that in Spreaker? You couldn't do that for me? I appreciate you guys checking that out for me. I really do. We're just going to keep on rolling. Maybe it's something that'll actually, rub itself out a little bit better later on in the show. So, guys, tonight, like I said, we're going to be talking some stuff that's going to be getting some people a little angry. And you know what? I really don't care. Because the thing that irritates me to no end is Black Lives Matter. Going to be honest with you. To me, it's pretty stinking irritating. Not logged into Spreaker. Why ain't you logged into Spreaker? You're supposed to be logged into Spreaker. He called me ass. Assumption. He made an assumption.
Well.
Anyway.
I'm not going there.
Yeah, well, Anyway. It irritates me to no end because after everything is all said and done, guys, I want you to pay attention to what's been going on, all right? You have Black Lives Matter. What are they mad about? The death of George Floyd by a corrupt cop. That's what they say that they're mad about. But what is actually going on out there? You have people rioting, turning this whole thing into a shopping spree, just an excuse to get out of the house, break down some windows, which is amazing because, heaven forbid you go to church, but if you want to break into a church and loot the hell out of it, that's perfectly fine. They're not going to stop you. They're saying, hey, you know what? Just riot. It's okay. We want you to exercise your, as they say, right to riot. And ladies and gents, is rioting a right?
Rioting a right?
Yeah.
No.
Is it a right? Yeah.
Not that I've seen.
Well, it's not. According to the Constitution, rioting is not a right. It's vandalism. It's breaking things. It's looting. It's theft. It's not a right. It's nothing that's actually protected by the Constitution. Now, peaceably to assemble, because this is one of the things I heard some jackhole say. Since when is it supposed to be? Oh, Brandon figured it out on how to log into Spreaker. That's funny. What's your stupid question? Or maybe you're talking to Matt, whatever. He said, where does it say that a protest has to be peaceful? Well, it's right there in the First Amendment. It's the right to peaceably to assemble.
Yeah, the governor of New York, HohO.
That's who that was? Yeah,
yep.
See, I knew it was some stupid, idiotic asshat, but, hey, who am I to judge? But whenever you look at all the people, really, never used the chat in here. Oh, okay. Well, now you have. Congratulations. See, never mind. So, I mean, you take a look at, okay, well, black people are dying on the streets. Business owners, police officers that are black, all kinds of black people have been killed and murdered by these rioters. Does Black Lives Matter seem to care at all about any of their deaths?
I don't know.
I mean, they mentioned George Floyd like he's going out of style, but for some reason they don't bring up the names of the 24 people that died in one night in Chicago. They don't bring up any of the deaths from Chicago, the black on black crime that they don't seem to care about. They don't mention anything about the black cops that have been killed by the rioters. They don't say anything about the people whom have died and who have had the crap beat out of them during these protests, who were defending their businesses. They're rioting everything and every bit except for Red Wing. They leave Red Wing alone because they won't even steal workbench. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was hilarious. Anyway, all of this going on, and the only thing they seem to care about is the injustice from a corrupt cop. Not to mention, okay, because here's the thing, man. It's like, okay, if Black Lives mattered to BLM, I would support you 110%. But they're not rioting and they're not protesting about, holy crap, man, you had to write a book in there, really? Hey, did you see they changed the street sign? They changed in D.C., changed it to Black Lives Matter Plaza because Trump stood there with a Bible. Do you recall the changing the sign to Black blouses matter when slick. Oh, really? Okay. Anyway, we're not going to read the rest of that. Had to write a stinking book. Oh my, whatever, dude. Anyway, as this protest continues, it seems like this has nothing to do with a pro-black movement and everything to do with a anti-white movement, because black lives don't seem to matter to BLM. And again, see, here's the thing, guys. If their outrage actually had anything to do with facts, then I would be behind you, but I want you guys to note now, okay, a lot of these are, okay, this is from FBI statistics, okay? I want you guys to take a look at these numbers. And if I had more time, I would have actually given you guys some percentages here, which I did not do. I apologize about that because I know y'all don't like math, and I mean, hey, me neither. That's why I got a spreadsheet that does that stuff for me. But as you can see right here, number of people shot to death by the police in the United States from 2017 to 2020 by race. White, 2017, 457, only 233 that were black, 179 Hispanic, 44 other, and 84 unknown. That's that blue column right there on the left. In 2018, you have 399 that were white, 209 that was black, 147 Hispanic, 36 other, and 204 unknown. 2019, you had 370 white, 235 black, 158 Hispanic, 39 other, and 202 unknown. And this so far in 2020, you got 172 white, 88 black, 57 Hispanic, 14 other, and 98 unknowns. The fact of the matter is, guys, of people that are killed by, and Dot Connector, yes, I have heard that the audio is choppy. I do apologize. I do not know what the issue is on that. Yeah, I've already been told by some people, and if you want to check out the audio only, you can head on over to Spreaker.com, search out HoHo Show or The HoHo Show, and you will see that, or you can head on over to thehohoshow.com. Maybe, which I have absolutely no idea if it is, but on the HoHoShow.com, I actually do have on the video tab. And hey, one of you all is over there in Spreaker. If you could head on over to the HoHoShow.com, check out the videos tab. I do have a link, or not a link, actually. I do have a live feed for the show right there. I don't know if it's working. I'm kind of leery on actually checking it out. Says stream's currently offline. Okay, so I brought it up myself. I hope that thing doesn't kick on and become, whatever. Anyway, it just enough delay to do the Bruce Lee law. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, that is hilarious. So you're listening. Yeah, so they're apparently listening on Spreaker.com and watching on YouTube or Facebook. That is absolutely hilarious. That is funny. Anyway, where was I? I'm right here. Where was I? Statistics, yes. Like 55% of of people that are killed by police are actually white, and roughly 37% are black. So you see, their own outrage isn't even based off of factual information. It's based off of a talking point. It's based off of what they want you to perceive to be true, but it's not actually based off of fact. FBI statistics. What he said, I hate that word. I really do.
Statistics?
Yes, I hate that. I'm going to slap the crap out of you. I hate that word, guys. I really do. But yeah, none of this is even based off of factual information. So, I mean, yeah. You got anything to add to
that? Statistics.
I'm going to smack you.
Yeah. A lot going on this week, I know that. But
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure you'll get to that point.
Oh yeah. There's
The goodies.
There's a lot in there.
A lot of goodies.
Because, a lot of protests going on everywhere.
What about the cops being disbanded? Or was that going to be one of your points? Did you want to get up on that one later?
We can go ahead and discuss that a little bit. Yeah, I've heard about that, but you know what? Here, all right, go ahead. You go.
Minneapolis has voted to disband their police force. They have no clue what they're going to do after that, but they're voting to disband their police force.
Yeah, yes, so they have.
What do you do with that?
I think they need to, if they're going to go as far as to do that, then what they need to do is also remove your ability to have personal security for all these people that are voting this in. Because that they're not going to relinquish police or at least some type of security in these places where, the gated communities, people that have the money, all this other kind of good crap. That ain't going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, yep. Well, guys, we are going to go on a quick break. And when we return, we have something else to talk about because we're going to be talking about those that are actually being charged for the death of George Floyd. Because we've got some things to let you in on. And, guys, whenever you find out this information, you guys are going to be absolutely ticked. But before... Oh, my God. The Machine Radio Show, Mr. Brandon Gatton just put in here, let the purge begin. And you know what? That's exactly what's going to happen with everything. The disbanding of the police officers, that's what's going to happen. You're pretty much going to have... I know that's not actually the proper sound effect for that right there, but that's the closest one that I have.
So how does that work? You get like so many points per person, or?
I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I had to throw up in my mouth a little bit there.
So yeah, we're going to talk about the charges of the police force, and I want to see if I can't actually look something up to give you guys a little bit more information. I mean, not like it really matters. It don't matter. I'm not looking up jack. It doesn't matter because you guys will understand what the heck I'm talking about. But anyway, guys, just a couple minutes. We'll be right back. This is me. Do you work at any of the myriad of jobs where you might have to sit on your bum all day? Well, if so, maybe you know what it's like to suffer from the condition known as swamp ass. Well, if so, have I got the solution for you?
Anti-monkey butt powder.
That's right.
Anti-monkey butt powder.
You can use it indoors, outdoors, work or play, or on any occasion when you sit on your bum all day. Don't let your buns get red. Use anti-monkey butt powder instead. Available wherever anti-friction powder is sold. All right, welcome back. So,
Yeah.
all right, so originally, the cop, whatever his name was, and the three people that were also there on the scene were getting charged one way, which actually made a lot of sense. They were getting charged with, well, the cop that had his knee on the neck of George Floyd was going to get charged with murder 3 and was also going to get charged with, I believe, assault. Am I right?
I think so.
I think so. And then the other 3 were getting charged with criminal negligence or something along those lines.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
Which makes sense.
Exactly. Now, here's the thing, guys. In case you all don't know, and in case you all find yourself in criminal court facing a murder charge, I want you guys to know something. You got 3 definite classes of murder. You have murder 1, which is classified as...
Premeditated.
Yes, premeditated, which means you woke up that day with, I'm going to kill this MFer. Okay. You have intent, which means you arrived somewhere and you seen somebody was like, I'm going to kill that MFer. And you have murder 3, which is you get into a fight and MFer just happens to die. Those are the 3 different classifications. Those are how they are separated. Those are what each ones mean. Okay. Now, also in case you guys didn't know, the autopsy came back on George Floyd's death. He had drugs in his system. I believe fentanyl was one of them they specifically mentioned. Mm-hmm. And he had heart conditions. And he basically died of a heart attack that was brought on by drugs. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to hit the mic. So that's the cause of death. It was not asphyxiation, which is what it would be had he died from having pressure on his neck, blood circulation being cut off, and restricted breathing. That's what would have happened. It would have been asphyxiation had it been directly related to the cop's actions. Okay? That's what he would have died at. That's what he would have died of. But the autopsy does not prove that. The autopsy proves died of a heart attack due to drugs in his system. That's what it amounted to. Okay? Now, how can you prove intent when the cop's actions only contributed to his death but was not the cause of his death? I'm saying that. That's exactly what I just said. Okay? How can you prove intent when the cop's actions wasn't the cause, only the contributing factor? Okay? You can't. And how were the other 3 police officers that was there whose charge got upgraded to aiding and abetting in murder 2 if the original cop isn't even found guilty of murder 2?
Right.
Well, the answer is they can't, because it already falls on deaf ears. Deaf ears.
Those 2.
Yeah. Now, and I agree with you, stress of the situation, but even still, it wasn't asphyxiation. You know, they can contribute his heart attack to the drugs, but it wasn't asphyxiation. Either way, contributing factor, not the cause. That's what they're saying. That's what the autopsy shows. Now, I'm going to be honest with you on something. I think there needs to be another autopsy. Okay? I very much do. If you want to nip this in the butt, if you want to do right by everybody concerned, you need to do another autopsy to confirm the findings. That's what you need to do. They need to do 2, 3. I mean, hell, in the case of, Michael Brown's death by the hands of Darren Wilson, you had 4 different separate autopsies and 4 different separate investigations that went on. They need to do the same thing here.
Right.
You know, it goes without saying. Okay. That's what they need to do. And that's only assuming that this thing even goes to trial in the first place. And there's a very good possibility that it won't. I want you to follow me on this. All of the proof lands in the eyes, of course, of the prosecuting attorney, and of which case they have to prove their case in a court of law beyond a shadow of a doubt. Everybody knows that, but that goes back to the last point. Okay, again, beyond a shadow of a doubt, how can you find, that's where the intent thing comes in, all right? But moving to the next point, I want you to think about this. This cop and the others that were there have already been found guilty on the court of public opinion with these riots that have been going on everywhere in every major city. With the media coverage, he has already been found guilty. How can he have a fair trial by a jury of his peers whenever he's been found guilty already in the court of public opinion? The answer is he can't. That's a problem. That's why I really get irritated and I really get agitated knowing how the criminal justice system works and how high-paid lawyers tend to think and argue something in a murder case. I mean, how can he have a fair trial whenever he's already been found guilty on the court of public opinion? Can he?
Good question. I mean, there's you'd have to refer to other famous cases as well that have been broadcast out in the media. Casey Anthony comes to my mind. Do I think she's guilty? Oh yeah, I think she's guilty. But it was broadcast out in the public way before anything went to trial. I mean, the facts, this, that, the other, and the whole public there basically said, you're guilty, and but it still went to trial though. I mean, she got off on it, I think, but it still went there. But I understand your point. I agree with you, but I think it will go to trial. Whether it'll be fair or not, is to be seen.
No, right.
But I do believe it will go to trial. I believe.
All I can say is I hope so. But I mean that's the thing. though. I mean, if the if the defense attorney is worth his salt, that's the first argument he's going to make on the first day of trial. Yeah. I want this case thrown out because how can my client have a fair trial with the media coverage and with the rights and everything happening? I mean, the fact of the matter is he can't. Yeah. And if this lawyer is worth his weight, which he will be because he's a high-priced lawyer that's being paid for by the police union, he's going to have a darn good lawyer. And Dot Connector makes a very good point over there in YouTube. He says supposedly Floyd and the cop worked together as bouncers for 10 years at a nightclub, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And by the way, Dot Connector, is the audio sounding any better? I'm just wanting to check. I'm hoping it does. I'm hoping it is. But if it is, please let me know in the chat. I do appreciate it. And yeah, he makes a good point. You see, because this is something that is going to help the prosecution's case. They have a prior, they knew each other. Well, although that's the thing, though, too, because the night he said, nope, choppy. Darn it. No choppy. Wait, okay. I'm confused. Is that no, it's choppy, or no choppy, as in it's good? I have no idea.
Thumbs up, thumbs down.
I don't know if YouTube does that. I have no idea. Anyway, but that's something that is all right. Now, the owner of the nightclub that the two worked at, he says that I have absolutely no idea if they knew each other or not. Basically saying it's possible that they didn't due to the size of the place. And he says, I am listening on the HoHoShow.com. The audio is choppy. Dang it. Well, I appreciate the feedback, sir, and I do apologize. HoHo, your mic is acting up. It's not the mic, Daryl. I over there in Facebook land. And by the way, hi. It's the stream. I don't know what the problem is, but it's the stream. It's acting up. Everything's fine in Spreaker land. But yeah, I apologize. I'm sorry. But yeah, that is something that is going to help the case of the prosecuting attorney if he can, prove that they knew had prior interactions, that they knew each other, and if there was any type of a beef between the two.
Right.
Because that could help prove the case of murder too. Outside of that, they're kind of screwed on proving murder too.
What I see is, and it's tragic, now that they've upped the charges, everybody's going to expect that charge to be a guilty verdict. And when it doesn't come back as a guilty verdict, then you're going to see more riots. You're going to see more injustice. They kind of screwed themselves by upping those charges in the first place.
Well,
by doing that, because they just created a bigger problem in the end.
And you're absolutely right. They created for themselves a bigger problem. But here's the thing, though. You look at it, and here's what I was going to look up earlier if I had the time, and I do apologize that I did not have the time. But obviously, murder 1 carries a lengthier sentence than murder 2. Murder 2 carries a lengthier sentence than murder 3, and et cetera, et cetera. Okay.
Right.
They were looking at the years he was, the maximum penalty, and they were looking at cutting that in half because that's what he's going to spend in prison. That's what they were looking at. And they were like, no, 5 years in prison for killing somebody isn't long enough. And so they upped the charges, not because of what he was actually guilty of, but they only upped the charges because of the amount of time he was going to spend in prison. And that's where the uproar came from. 5 years ain't enough. You need to put him behind bars for longer. So that's why they upped the charge. It wasn't because of what he did or didn't do. It's because the masses,
right,
the rioters, the people that were mad about the whole thing, which, look, I'm mad about it too. Police brutality. It sucks. There needs to be reform. There needs to be people, they need to be held accountable for this. Absolutely. I'm with you on that. These cops, every single one of them, all 4 of them involved, need to go to jail.
Right.
Dot Connector in here says, since they knew each other, it seems like a setup. Yeah. I did find my pickles, Daryl, and thank you very much. I am very much looking forward to having a sandwich. Dot Connector put in here, Smith-Monk Act of 2012 legalizes government propaganda. I did not know that. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
I did not know that either. But yeah, just looking at this of the surface, this whole thing looks, it's kind of bad, I really don't see how the prosecution is going to. Now, again, guys, there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes.
Right.
There's a lot of investigations going on. There's a lot of stuff going on. All video links are not working. Oh, yeah. Okay. Wait, what? Wait, what? I got you to finally eat pickles. Now you can't live without them. Dude, I didn't. These pickles are absolutely amazing, might I add. All right. Wait till you try one of these pickles, Brandon. These pickles are amazing. They will knock your socks off. You're going to love them because you like spicy things.
Spicy pickle.
It's a spicy meatball. Matt puts in here, if the officers are acquitted, the rioting will be much, much worse. Maybe that's the plan. And we're going to get into that.
Right.
We are going to get into that later on in this because,
well, even not being able to prove murder too, that's what they're going to want, even when that alone doesn't get proven, or even a lesser charge happens, they're going to be pissed.
Absolutely, because if they can't prove intent, then they're going to get off. Then the cops are going to get off. Every single one of them is going to get off if they can't prove murder too. As far as I'm concerned, just looking at the whole thing on the surface without having to scratch down any layers whatsoever, they had murder 3 in the bag. His knee was there for 9 minutes. He passed away because of his crappy actions. murder 3 was in the bag. You know, I mean, just looking at it on an outsider's point of view, multiple cameras, multiple camera angles, you know. Dot Connector put in there, why was the casket closed? I don't know. But it looks, you know, if they can't prove intent, then everything is done. They're going to get off because they're not going to be able to go back and charge them for murder 3. Double jeopardy.
Well, there is a question about that because different states have different ways of doing things. I know, like in Florida, if this was the case in Florida, I forget which other case it was, they couldn't prove murder 2, but somebody did get murder 3. They can be charged with murder 3 still if it's according to their statutes. But it varies state by state, though. I know that. Well,
but that's the thing, though. According to the Constitution, double jeopardy is you can't do that.
Well, it's only double jeopardy when you're convicted of the same crime.
It's being charged for the same crime twice.
Convicted, not charged. Convicted. Convicted, not charged.
You know what? I want to look at that whenever we get back.
Because I know people, I know other cases they've done that, but like I said, Florida is different than Minnesota. It varies state by state.
I'm going to read that. I'm going to get back to it because I could have swore that was you can't be charged for the same crime twice.
Nope.
Not convicted. We'll look into that because I'm actually curious about that. So, do you have anything else to add on this one?
On just what we've talked about. I mean, now that they've upped that charge, unless they get the maximum of what they can get, people aren't going to be happy. Whether they get charged with a lesser crime or no crime at all or what have you, unless it's the top dog, they're not going to be happy and they're going to continue to riot or this, that, or whatever. And it's going to fuel the other people who don't give a crap about any of this at all to give them an excuse to do their thing too.
Well, and that's the thing too, because if they're mad that the crime that he actually committed doesn't have a stiff enough of a penalty, well, then you need to be holding the people accountable whom actually write the laws and the statutes that, you know, for the criminal justice system.
Right.
And who would that be? Oh, yeah, the people that you've elected into office.
Exactly.
You know, the blame falls on you just as much as it does anybody else. You know, in that instance, not in with the death, but as far as the criminal justice aspect of it with the statutes and limitations on, you know, the penalty and the time that you serve for that, well, then you guys need to be getting people in there that'll actually do reform on that kind of stuff. Without it, well, you're kind of screwing yourself, you know. And I agree with you, Brandon. They need to back it down to murder 3 because I don't want to say they'll never get murder 2, just for the simple fact is there's a lot of investigation that's going to go on between now and the time that it goes to trial.
Right.
They might be able to actually determine intent, you know, because they did work together. And if they can prove that there's some type of a beef, then it's not a very far cry away from maybe he did. Maybe he did go there, arrive on the scene, and see him and say, now's my chance, I can kill him now.
And then it ultimately comes down to the jury. I mean, all you got to do is convince the jury that murder 2 is what they need. Whether how can I put it? Whether you really prove intent, which you're supposed to do or not,
right,
it's based on the jury itself. You know, if I'm a juror and I say, oh, close enough for me, then I'm going to convict them.
Well, you got a point, but, you know, I mean, it's worded as, you know, beyond a reasonable doubt.
Right.
You know, so, I mean, if they can prove murder 2 beyond a reasonable doubt, then they got a chance. But if they don't, then they should back it down to what they know they can get. And, you know, Brandon also puts here, he says, honestly, they would be better off charging with man 2. Well, that's the thing. I mean, in all honesty, murder 3, compared to, you know, considering he died because of the actions of the cop, murder 3 is totally obtainable just based off of the video evidence alone.
Right.
just based off the video evidence, they have murder 3. They got to dig into their lives in order to prove murder 2. And that might be a little bit of a stretch. And granted, okay, this cop has a history of violence. Okay, he does have a history of this. He has a history of, being racist. And that's a thing, too. Why wasn't he ever charged with this in the past? Who was the gal who actually decided not to charge him not that long? I think she was somebody whom was... Oh, crap. What the heck was her name? I don't remember. I think she was running for president even. One of the things that brought up, she was a prosecuting attorney and she chose not to prosecute him.
I think I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the name.
I can't remember her name. Dot put in here, I would not be surprised if the cop suicides himself with 2 shots to the back of the head,
Yeah.
That's the thing, man. If he does end up going to prison, I mean, you know darn good and well that right now he is not in Gen Paw. He is not. He will not ever land there whatsoever. But if, for some strange reason, he does happen to find himself in general population, he is not going to fare well. But they don't put cops in general population. They really don't. They keep them separate. They always have. They always will. And I can't exactly say as if I agree with that. I understand why they do it, but I can't say as if I necessarily agree with it. Kind of the same thing for, pedophiles being in prison system. They don't end up going. They don't fare so well in prison, and most of them try their damnedest to be in solitary confinement.
Right.
A lot of them do. You got anything else?
Not on that one.
Yeah, I really ain't got anything else on this one either. Next, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, guys. And next, whenever we come back, we're going to talk about, and hopefully whenever I get back, I remember to click the button. We're going to hope that I do. But when we return, we're going to talk about these riots. We're going to talk about the organization of these things. And we're going to ask a question. A very, very important question right after this. Do you love your occasional Mexican dish or your musical fruit? Are you tired of walking by family members and crop dusting them? Well, if this has ever happened to you, might I introduce you to Tampons brand butt plugs. Tampons brand butt plugs is that particular type of butt plug that allows you to walk in public in confidence knowing that you're not going to accidentally crop dust somebody. Tampons brand butt plugs now with the plastic applicator.
Not just for women anymore.
Tampons brand butt plugs. Welcome back to the HoHO Show. So, guys, we are... Dot Connector put in here, nothing says grieving protesters like stealing flat screen TVs. And that's a question I got to ask, because are these people going to be selling these TVs to pawn shops and then giving the proceeds to the George Floyd family? I highly doubt it.
No, I seen one article, I forget which news organization it was, that they had a protester on there and they flat out said, "We don't care about that guy that died. We just want stuff."
Exactly. I mean, Hiller. I still think it's absolutely hilarious. You got like 4 or 5 different businesses that got looted during the protest, during the riots, but the Red Wing store that sold work boots was left alone.
Oh, did you see what happened last night, though? Big Amazon distribution center got burnt to the ground.
I seen that. No wonder why my packages are late.
Well, I was going to tell you, I got you a gift, but I don't think it's coming now.
I don't know as if I want your gift.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Chlamydia?
No, I got that for you last year.
I had to ask. I had to
You
ask.
went there.
I did. I went there. So, guys, the $1 million question. Where did all this funding come from? Because I'm sure you guys have been hearing reports that there has been pallets being delivered of... The machine put in here, Ray, I kill you. Pallets of what's that word I'm looking for? Bricks. Yeah. What's that English word for that? Bricks.
Those
yeah.
Things.
Pallets of bricks that have been getting delivered to places where protests have been scheduled and nobody seems to know where they're coming from. You see, this is a very organized thing.
Right.
These riots have been very organized because whenever you got a mob of people, it doesn't take much of a spark to get the mob triggered into doing a lot of this crap. Why does Floyd's family need 12 million GoFundMe? Right? There's been a lot of organization going on behind the scenes of this, and a lot of people that have been, they've been taken advantage of. Let's just put it that way. They've been taking advantage of people's rage. They've been taking advantage of people's hurt feelings. Okay?
Right.
They are being taken advantage of. And the question that goes along, or not really the question, but the thing that is most interesting about this is that all these left-wing extremist groups, it has been, there's a spiffy-diffy Latin phrase that goes along with this that I can't remember for the life of me what it is. But let's just put it this way. It's been policy that none of the intelligence agencies can really touch them. They can't investigate them. That's been kind of how it is. They're not allowed to investigate it because they are classified or they are viewed as a political group, and therefore they don't investigate them, And Dot Connector put in here too. He goes, "Law pallets of bricks." Soros. Exactly. Yeah. But here's the thing though, guys. We don't know. All of this happened underneath the nose of the FBI, of the CIA, of the entirety of the intelligence community. All of this happened, okay? All of the behind the scenes, all the planning that happens. And they've even said that, if we were trying to weaken another, and I heard this straight from the mouth of a former FBI or CIA agent. They were like, if we were trying to destabilize a country, these are some of the tactics that we would use, and it would take us a decade to get enough connections, to get enough things going on and works behind the scene to actually be able to put this plan into motion. Okay? That's what he flat said. He said that all of this has been going on underneath the noses of the entirety of the intelligence community. They don't know where the funding is coming from. They have no clue. Soros, yeah, probably, but who else has been funding this?
Right. There's probably more than one particular source doing it, if I had to guess.
I would say even China. Who knows
Russia.
Exactly. I mean, but they don't know. They don't know. And as far as I know, the only group, the only investigative reporting people that has done any type of investigation on Antifa has been Project Veritas. And they've actually got some stuff that they are releasing now of some of the training, some of the behind the scenes, meetings from Antifa. This stuff has been coming out. I definitely recommend checking that out. Project Veritas, Veritas. Fuck, I don't know. Words and letters. It's Latin. Veritas stands for truth, or it doesn't stand for truth. It means truth. Matt puts in here Clinton's. Yeah. You just said something earlier about them donating a ton of money.
The Clinton Foundation donated, I believe it was one of their deals, donated $800,000 to Antifa before it was declared a terrorist organization. And that's just one donation. They could have had others that nobody's dug into. So that they're involved. But like you said, there could be more than one player here at work.
Exactly.
Because Russia and China has an advantage for this going on. Soros, we know somewhere he's probably in the mix. And then you have Antifa. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of players that have interest in destabilizing the United States.
Right. And the thing that irritates me, and you guys heard, my rant that I had, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, where I was talking about the propaganda machine that is the mainstream media. How if I was the secretary of whatever it was, media relations, whatever that little spiffy-diffy title is, if I was that, I'd be booting all them people out of there, because if you're not actually a news organization, if you are a part of the propaganda machine, you're getting kicked out because I'm under no obligation to keep you in there. Did you know that CNN is the only one that actually has an office inside the White House?
No.
Why? Why do they need an office inside the White House?
Good question.
Very good question. So, you got anything else to add to that?
Just like we said before, this whole thing goes far, far, far beyond a black man dying in Minnesota.
Exactly.
This has been in the works for quite some time. And I think Ferguson was a good, how can you put it, training ground for what was to come, or practice.
Yeah, kind of, maybe, but I mean, that's the funny thing, because they used a complete and utter lie of a sham of hands up, don't shoot. And they seen just how out of control things went. And then whenever you actually do have a case of police brutality that resulted in an innocent man's death, I use innocent loosely. He didn't deserve to die either way you look at it, I mean, since when does, trying to pay for something with a counterfeit bill come with the death penalty? I have no idea.
Right.
Divide and conquer, yeah. But they did it back then. They seen just how mad people got over that, and it's like, now you're seeing just how mad people get whenever it is a legitimate complaint.
Right.
And this whole entire thing has been pushed by mainstream media. The elite pit us against each other. Absolutely, Dot Connector. They very much do. And Brandon puts in here, why does Pritzker family own a brick company? Why, after days of being silent, he only told the rioters to self-distance? Look at how much Hollywood is in. Oh yeah, this is very true, Matt. Look how much Hollywood is involved in all this, advocating for the rioting by raising money for those who get arrested. Absolutely.
Right.
You know, I mean, oh my God, there has been so many people, and I'm like, dude, I used to like you. You know, I used to like them. You know, Seth Rogen, I think, was one of them. There's been a lot. You know, you can see their faces on social media, you know. And Dot Connector puts a very good point in here. He says, we come together or else we will fall apart. And we will. You know, if we can't find a way to what's the word I'm looking for?
Unite.
No. Control our chaos. If we can't find a way to do that, then bad things are going to happen. Mm-hmm. That's all there's to it. Bad things are going to happen.
And speaking of that, you was talking about prosecution and stuff.
Yeah.
See where the state's attorney in St. Louis County released all the people that rioted down there in St. Louis without charges?
No.
Yeah.
I do know that, like, New York County, is it maybe, that they have a no bail law on the book, so these people get arrested. They go downtown, and then they immediately get released because they do not have to post bail.
Yeah, all the ones in St. Louis the other night, all the charges got dropped by the state's attorney, who's a Democrat, by the way. Imagine that.
Right.
Dropped all the charges. So everything the police did, all the arrests they made and everything was for nothing. The retired black police chief down there that got killed the other night.
Yeah.
All the every single charge down there was dropped by this person. Every single one.
Matt put in here, Hollywood plays a big role in influencing people, and he's right. They do. You know, it angers me, and it's sad how much they just spew out things just because it may feel good to do at the moment, even though what it is they spew may not actually have anything to do with that little bitty thing we call reality. Mm-hmm. Guys, we're going to take one more quick break, and when we return, we're going to bring this all together. All right, we're going to bring it all together. We're going to wrap it up. We're going to put it in a nice little bitty package. We're going to put it in a box, and we'll open it.
Oh, open it.
Or something like that. A couple minutes, guys. We'll be right back. Have you ever had an ailment that a normal over-the-counter remedy just couldn't fight? If this is the case, then boy, have I got the solution for you. Tussin. That's right, Tussin. Cough? Tussin. Cold? Tussin. Runny nose? Tussin. Itchy watery eyes? Tussin. Broken leg? Tussin. Tussin is the ultimate cure-all, guaranteed to stop anything that ails you. Tussin. Available wherever OTCs are sold. Well, now, we're back. Tussin. That's right, guys. The ultimate cure-all. So, guys, for those of you that have been around for any amount of time, Matt put in here, that is amazing. Tussin, dude, I'm telling you, it's the cure-all.
Yeah.
If you guys have been here for any amount of time, I'm going to go back a little ways. We're going to hop into the DeLorean. We're going to go in the Wayback Machine. We're going to go 88 miles per hour. We're going to have that lightning strike the bell tower. And next thing you know, we're going back 1.21 gigawatts of electricity. We're going back in time to November 5th of 1955. That's just a year in the movie. You know, that doesn't play any part in what we're about ready to talk about. But guys, we talked not that long ago about the, wow, hold on. Hey, man, that bar owner has, holy crap, the goal was 100,000. He has $1,141,010 now, and his goal was $100,000. That's amazing.
Which bartender?
That one bar owner, in your case, would be 1.21. What? Gigaguts? Oh my God, that's awesome. You need to do a commercial for the flux capacitor. Dude, that would be awesome. I actually do have my next few commercials planned out. One of them is going to be and I found a way how I could tie in the Kool-Aid Man to an amazing product. And that is the Tide Pod brand colon cleanse. Break through that sphincter wall like the Kool-Aid Man. Oh, yeah. Just throwing that in there.
Now in cherry flavor.
Tropical Punch.
Tropical Punch? Too?
Tropical Punch. Because that's the awesome. It's the elite and their minions against the rest of humanity. And that is right, Dot Connector. We need to get rolling on the video with the Communion 2.0, and we absolutely do. I mean, oh my God, because that's going to be an amazing. We got these commercials lined up, just kind of thought of and like putting there scripted. Communion 2.0, communion in a cup, communion on the go, communion in a cup. You've seen communion in a cup, So Communion 2.0, communion in a cup. Absolutely hilarious. It is going to be awesome. We've got this stuff planned out, guys. This stuff is going to be absolutely epic. They will be available as soon as we actually get around to it. That's going to be, that's going to be the thing right there. So, guys, here's the thing. All right, so we go back. We look at all the investigation that was done on Michael Flynn. Okay, the unmaskings that was done. Why? Simply put, because they knew that Flynn was going to be part of the intelligence, the head of the intelligence agencies, the Secretary of Intelligence, and was going to find out all of Barack Obama's dirty little secrets that happened during his presidency. Going to find out all the behind-the-scenes things that he wasn't privy to in Obama's administration. He didn't want that. All of this started the day he was inaugurated. No, I'm sorry. It all started the day he was elected. And these unmasking orders, like 90 plus of them, ended pretty much the day he was inaugurated. In fact, like Biden's was 8 days prior to inauguration. You have the investigations into Trump happening, all of which happened on false pretenses.
Roger Stone.
But all of these happened. The FISA report was based off of the Steele dossier, which they knew from the very beginning was crap. That it was a hit piece. It was opposition research done by the DNC, paid for by Hillary Clinton, and they know this. And they still decided to go forward with charges in the investigation, even though they knew that it was completely crap. For 3 years, they wasted tax dollars. They wasted our time, our money, things that they could have been doing real investigations on, things that actually mattered. Did they? No. And, Vacker, you can attest to this. And I know this from numerous people that I've talked to. I'm a truck driver. I have access to talking to a lot of people. This COVID has been here for a while, way longer than they're actually letting you know that it's been here.
Right.
It's been here since October and November.
Yeah.
Mystery flu, this mystery bug that people had been getting way back then, but it wasn't a thing yet. Why? Because they were all focused on impeachment. Didn't matter. And then you have President Trump right after the impeachment is whenever the whole COVID thing started. Now, here's the thing, guys. I want you to think about this. What is it that the only thing the Democratic Party can actually say? It'll give you something. Okay? That's all they say. So if the economy is good, if we have had the biggest economy in history, the best economy in at least 50 years, the lowest unemployment rate for most minority groups in history, ever before in history, the best economy, booming economy. Why? Because President Obama actually put his money where his mouth is, something that Republicans have been able to do since the beginning of freaking time. President Trump has been the best, most conservative president this nation has ever seen. Even better than Ronald Reagan.
Right.
Because Ronald Reagan, as good of a president as he was, he still did a lot of compromises. A lot of compromises that the president has been unwilling to do. And good for him, by the way. Very much good for him. So you have the economy being good. The people didn't need the Democrats' lies of we can do it better whenever President Trump actually, with the opposition of Congress, was able to do all this stuff. Yeah, Matt puts in here, he goes, they ignored it back in October, September, so they could blame Trump for when it began to run rampant. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Everything is blame Trump. Everything is orange man bad. And you were absolutely right on that. But what leg does the Democrat Party have to stand on when the people don't need him? Because all they offer you is more stuff. You don't want to work? That's fine. We'll guarantee you a minimum wage, a working wage. You get sick? That's fine. We're going to guarantee you insurance for free off the backs of taxpayers. You don't want to do this? You don't want to do that? That's fine. You don't have to. You can go to college and spend 10 years learning about gender studies, never have to get a job the rest of your life, and it doesn't matter. Don't worry about your debt. We'll pay for it on the backs of taxpayers. That's all the government has to, that's all they have.
Right.
I will offer you free shit. That's all. That is the entirety of the democratic process. Kill babies, tax the holy crap out of businesses, and give people free shit. That's the Democratic platform in a nutshell. But if you don't need free stuff, and if you are a working individual who is sick and tired of paying the way for people that don't want to get off their lazy ass and go to work, then you kind of get fed up with it. Socialism is good for the socialists, but bad for the people. And eventually you run out of other people's money. Ask Venezuela, they'll tell you.
Right.
Anyway, my point is all of this crap is connected. All of this is connected. Okay? The impeachments, the COVIDs, the riots, All of this is connected. And all of it is designed for one thing and one thing only, and that is get rid of President Trump. You guys have heard the term, that 2020 hindsight. You've heard of that, right? Mm-hmm. Now that we are so far into this, now that the DNC is so desperate to put a man who was actually around whenever some of these segregation stuff was actually being done, somebody who was quite racist, somebody who will tell black people that you ain't black if you don't vote for me. That's pretty stinking racist if you ask me.
Right.
And isn't that just like the Democratic Party to expect, to demand that you vote for them based off of your color? You can't get anything unless it's given to you by government. That's what the Democrats believe. They actually do believe that you won't make it anywhere if you're not given what you need by the Democratic Party. Socialism works for the socialists until they run out of other people's money. Absolutely. So the only thing they have to do, the only thing they could do, was ruin the best thing about Trump's presidency, and that was the economy. But even still, and here's my thing, here's my thing. I think they played their hand a little too soon, don't you?
Yeah.
Because you're seeing the deaths. Because we've talked about this too on other shows, that whenever everything is all said and done, the death rate of the COVIDs is going to be closer to, like, what did we say, like 0.0 or 0.5 or 0.3 or something like that. Something pretty stinking low. Really, dude? He is being noisy as hell. He is.
There, you're on camera now, Vector. Say hi
that's
to everybody.
Vector. Say hi, Vector.
Say hi. Hi, Vector.
I just waved at the camera and it's not even on me. That's absolutely amazing.
There you go.
Free stuff costs more in the long run, and you're absolutely right. Because that's the thing. Okay, so this, let's just call this a can of soda. It's 50 cents.
50 cents?
50 cents. That's what this costs. 50 cents. But once you put it through the hands of government, because you have this agency that's going to take a cut, this agency is going to take a cut, that agency is going to get a cut, this agency is going to get a cut, it's going to come from the taxpayer, it's going to come from this, it's going to come from that, it's going to go through this hand, this committee, that committee. Next thing you know, this thing costs $50. That is the wonderfulness of dollars spent in government. It costs 50 cents to buy it out of a machine. It's going to cost you $50 to get it from government, because they got to pay too many people. That's the truth. Why do you think it costs $500 for a toilet seat? Go to Walmart. They're cheap. Where my money? That's right. 50 cents. I'll give you a nickel.
I seen something the other day. You know what happens when 50 Cent gets hungry?
I'm going to regret this. What?
58.
Oh, shit. I knew I was going to. Why was 6 afraid of 7? Because 7, 8, 9. Oh, my God. Matt put bad dad joke. Dude, the best dad joke I ever heard, okay? This was absolutely amazing. I got to share this with you because it's just epic, all right? So this guy, all right, was at a restaurant with his kid. And the dad's like, I really don't know what I'm hungry for. And the waiter goes, chicken strips for $5. And the dad's like, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But that doesn't help me out with what I want to eat. And from across the room, you hear, good one.
On a lighter note, though, did you hear about the new Lego store opening up?
Yeah, there were lines for blocks.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, ladies and gents. Wow. When did this turn into dad joke day or something? What in the world?
See a strawberry moon last night?
No.
Yeah, there was a strawberry moon last night.
Mm-hmm.
It's a true story. It was on the news.
I know. I'm just waiting for the dad joke.
There's no dad joke.
No dad joke?
Just
Wow,
Strawberry Moon.
Strawberry Moon. I like the Blue Moon. Blue Moon. No, we're not singing. This ain't karaoke night.
Thank God.
Healthcare and the college used to be affordable in the 1950s and the 60s. People paid out of pocket without loans or debt. Yeah. You know, and that's the thing, man. Okay, based off of what you said right there, Dot Connector, it amazes me. So, okay, the Department of Education came about during, I believe, Carter's administration. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was Carter's administration back in 1978. All right. Ever since then, the quality of education has gone down so far that pre-1978, you could have a high school education, and today that's equivalent to a bachelor's degree in college. They taught trades in school. They taught a lot of things in school. They actually taught economics. They taught history. They taught Latin. They used a lot of different things. Nowadays, they don't teach any of that crap. You're doing good for them to actually teach you English. Look at me. I'm prime example of that. I suck at English.
They know.
As a first language, oh my god.
Education.
And yeah, he says true. The quality was better. And it was. You know, I mean, you have to go through 2 years of college minimum to get the same quality of education they got back as a senior in high school pre-1978. And yeah, a lot of the problem is, and Brandon of the Machine Radio Show put it very well, no child left behind. That's been a huge problem. Been a huge problem. Why don't they stand up and say the Pledge of Allegiance anymore? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands. Maybe they would quit calling this damn thing a democracy if they actually did that. But they don't. Now instead you got, this is what democracy looks like. Yay. Stupid people. Brandon put in, I speak 2 languages, English and bad English. Actually, you know what? I don't tell people I speak English. For the simple fact is I don't. I don't speak the Queen's English. I don't speak that. I speak Central Illinois American slang. Because the Queen's English is gay as ha-ha. And Central Illinois American slang gay is how you doing?
Hey.
4 if you count mechanics language and or military language. True that. This has gone downhill quick. So, what I'm saying is, all of this crap is connected, guys. Every single last bit of this is connected. Why? Because the Democrats are absolutely hell-bent on getting rid of orange man bad and putting in white man bad. Joe Biden. Whom I would be surprised if he actually makes it through a full 4 years in the White House. I would be shocked. I would be. I mean, can you see that man actually? I mean, hey, I'm running for Senate. Go back then, Joe. Just go back. Just go back. Do you see that man actually lasting 4 years in the White House?
No, that's why his VP pick ought to be very interesting.
You ain't kidding.
Did you see also where the Bush family came out today against the president and what he's doing? I forget exactly what they said, but there was an article about it, and it said something like, you want to know how deep the swamp goes? Here you go. Because the Bushes and the Clintons have been known for decades to be friends with each other. Let's put it that way.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the thing, man. I mean, people don't actually understand just how, Bush Sr., guys, yeah. I could give you some information on Bush Sr. that would make your head spin. Back and to the left, actually. Did I say that out loud?
Yes.
I wonder if people got the reference.
Maybe.
I can give you guys some information on that. I mean, there's, again, this is conspiracy theory.
November
and I'm not something about that. Mm-hmm. Let's just put it this way. I can give you a series of random facts and you can draw with it your own conclusion. Okay? Just some really weird stuff. I ain't going to tell you a story. I ain't going to do that. I don't want to be the next guy that they find suicided. I don't care. How is Biden running for office with video proof of creeping out young girls? You see, because the only time that it's important that you have anybody creeping out old girls, Sniffy Joe, the only time it matters that there's any type of sexual harassment charge on you, anything like that, that there's actual, the only time it ever matters is when it's a Republican.
Right.
See, Brett Kavanaugh, they had to lie their ass off in order to come up with anything. And now that Brett Kavanaugh is now a Supreme Court justice, have you heard anything from that psycho crazy woman?
Nope.
She has disappeared out of the limelight. Out of the whatever. She's gone now. You ain't going to hear anything else about her. Why? Because it doesn't matter anymore. He's now a Supreme Court justice.
Right.
All of them gone by the wayside. It doesn't matter anymore. Why? Because the whole entire thing was a ploy to keep him out. That's it. Nobody cares. Because here's the thing, Dot Connector. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. People have said, okay, now these are people whom are, excuse me, hold on. Dang it, I got the COVIDs. Oh, my God. Okay, so here's the thing, all right? When it was Brett Kavanaugh, it was Pound Me Too movement. And yeah, I said Pound Me Too because that little tic-tac-toe sign, that's what that means, or that's what that meant back in the day. See, in the rotary phone days and the early days of touch-tone phones, that was a pound sign, a little tic-tac-toe symbol. That was a pound sign. So hashtag Me Too is actually Pound Me Too movement. I just love that. That's hilarious to me. Just throwing that out there. It was believe women. Women must be believed. Now that it's a Democrat and Biden who's being accused, now it's, they're actually going out there and saying that we don't care if he's actually guilty.
Yeah.
Take one for the team. That's basically what their message is to Democrat women. Take it. Because getting rid of Orange Man bad is more important than your feelings and your rape. That's what they're saying. And people try to say that it's okay and it's virtuous to be a Democrat because,
How dare you?
Virtuous to be a Democrat. It's ridiculous. It absolutely is. But that's basically what they're saying. They're saying bend over and take it up the tailpipe like a man. And I wish I had that clip, Gatton. I really do. Take it up the tailpipe or whatever he says. I don't know. Little Ace Ventura line right there. Enjoy that. he put law, Pound Me Too. And I'm assuming, sir, based off of some of the conversation in there, that you totally understand that reference. I thought it was hilarious too. I'm like, Pound Me Too. That's freaking funny. I know you did too.
It's funny.
It is.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you got.
That's all I got.
Okay. Wow. you got anything else on this?
On that one?
Yeah.
Well, no, they got all the subpoenas and everything going on with Hillary Clinton and Clapper and all those guys going on this week, and should be interesting.
So I guess here's my question that I want to present to you guys. Brandon put in here, he also married to his sister. Yep, this is my wife, and it was his sister that was standing next to him. Yeah. Here's my question for you guys, though. Okay. What do you think all this means going forward? What do you think it means going forward? How close do you think we are from a second civil war? Because we're in a civil war now, actually. Mm-hmm. Okay, because everything that has been happening to the president has been what they refer to as a cold coup. That's what they've been calling it. This is a coup, and they've actually used the word coup. This is a coup, a silent coup. Actually, that's the words I'm looking for. That's what they call it. They call this a silent coup. What does this mean going forward? How far is the left willing to go to move forward with their agenda? And how much are you willing to take to let them do it? And I think that is a very important question to ask yourself, because how many of your rights are you willing to lose before you stand up and say not enough? I've heard this been talked about on another show, and time and time again you have, no, I'm not going to, that hill is not worth me dying on. This hill is not worth me dying on. That hill is not worth me dying on. And it's like we've run out of hills. We've run out of things to protect. Okay, we were unwilling to die on the Second Amendment hill. Thou shall not be infringed thing has been infringed upon a lot. Okay, in a lot of ways, we've lost quite a few of our First Amendment rights. We've lost a lot of them. Mm-hmm. A patch that I have: when tyranny becomes law, rebellion becomes duty. I don't know how we move forward after this. After the past couple weeks, it's holy crap. I'm just being honest with you guys. The last 2 weeks, the last few months has been holy crap. And the more and more information that comes out, the more I find out, the more research I do, the more I'm like, holy shit. And Dot Connector, that's actually what I'm afraid of. 1 second. He says, people will continue to take it until everything is lost. Then it's too late. And you are absolutely right, sir. And that's what I'm afraid of. Go ahead. Sorry.
We got 5 months until the election. There's a lot that can happen in 5 months. And one of my fears is that these anarchists, whatever we want to call them, storm these polling places on election day and do what they're doing right now to the memorials and basically try to disrupt the election or hurt people or this or that. And God only knows, but I see them pulling something on election day.
I wouldn't be surprised either, because we've already found out in not that many elections ago, whenever you had, the Black Panther that was out at, polling places, intimidating people into basically voting Democrat. So, we've already seen those type of tactics. Here in the United States, we have seen vote tampering. Mm-hmm. Not just with people holding back ballots and vote early, vote often. No, people that are actually basically being bullied into voting Democrat. How much it worked, I don't know. But they were there as an intimidation factor, and that can't be argued with.
Right.
Dot puts a very good point in here. Another very good point in here. I can speak, really, I can. Lies told often enough are believed as true, and you're absolutely right.
Right.
And I tell you what, man, I can't tell you how disgusted I am about that. I really can't. Or accept it as truth, absolutely. But I can't tell you how disgusted I am with that. And that is so true. Because here's the thing. This is a cell phone. This cell phone has access to what is called the interwebs. And on the interwebs, you can do all kinds of things more than just watch videos on Facebook, watch videos on YouTube, and watch TikTok all stinking day. You can look stuff up. You can find things out. You can research things on your own and actually find out what the truth is. The problem is people are too apt to believe mainstream media and believe the lies than actually go out and earn the information on their own and get educated.
Right.
And that's a problem. You have a computer virtually at your fingertips, capable of looking up anything you want to, which should be awesome for people nowadays because they love instant gratification. Anything they got to work hard for, they don't really like it. They want that instant gratification. Mm-hmm. They want that swipe left. They want that swipe left or swipe right, whatever. Which way you got to swipe, I have no idea. But they like that, the instant gratification. So you think they'd be okay with that? I found out the penguins do have knees. Who knew? It's true, they do.
Small ones.
Well, they don't need big ones. They got little feet, little legs. They got T-Rex arms as legs. Big bodied, little bitty legs.
People don't want to think for themselves anymore. They want somebody to think for them.
You know, back in my day, okay, I was born in 78. Right? I graduated in 90, 70, 90, what year was that? 97. I graduated in 97. All right. See, whenever I went to school, it was still during that transition phase. Okay. At first, they taught you how to think. And somewhere along the lines, that turned into what to think.
Right.
And that is why I failed on an essay where I was asked my opinion. And I failed. Why? Because I didn't have the proper opinion. And I told the lady, I'm like, why did I get an F? It's like, was my grammar bad? No. Was my structure incorrect? No. Did I misspell things? No. So basically you're saying I wrote the paper right. I did everything fine. Yeah. So why did you fail me? You didn't have the right opinion. I go, bullshit. You asked my opinion. This was an opinion-based essay. Just because you don't like my opinion doesn't mean that I failed the exam or I failed the paper. You might want to change that grade. I was denied. But I called her out on her Bravo Sierra. And you got a point, Dot Connector. And Islin makes another point in here. But he said, the truth is too uncomfortable for most. And you're absolutely right. You know, whenever people start whining and crying because they want Congress to have term limits, I say, why? They don't need them. Because we, the people, have the power to vote for somebody else in. If you can't find the change you're looking for, then become the change you're looking for. People don't want to hear that, though. They just want to blame their problems on somebody else instead of taking responsibility for their power in the situation. And you're absolutely right, Dot Connector. The people are satisfied with their distraction because they would much rather watch Dancing with the Stars and Deadliest Catch and the Kardashians and Shop for Shoes and watch all these myriad of other things that do nothing more than distract us from actually what's going on. Society is lazy and does not want to work. They don't want to work to find out any information. And all of that is true.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guys, I'll leave it with that.
There's something I mentioned on the show before, and if I'll say it again, if you guys get a chance, watch Ben Stein's Exposed. It is very informative as far as how the education system, especially colleges, tell people how to think.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it's a darn good documentary. I mean, seriously.
The education system isn't about educating anybody. It's about indoctrinating people. I mean, think about it. Why is it? Okay, what do they learn in other countries? Okay, they learn, think about it. How many businesses are owned by Mexicans, by Chinese people, and by you are here Indians? A lot. Not explaining that. Just, I'm sorry. Just
wow.
How many of them? A lot. We have several in my hometown that are owned by all the above. Okay.
We have Chinese people that own a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah, we do. We do too.
It's good for them. But
yeah,
just interesting.
No, it's like, I'm not like it's like I'm not going to a Chinese restaurant and going to have my rice cooked by Billy Bob. No, it's not going to happen. I want authentic. Dang it.
Use your fortune cookie with your burrito.
Oh my God, that's amazing! And in your fortune cookie, you don't get a fortune; you get a Mexican word for the day. You guys have seen those on Facebook. The memes are amazing. But in their society, they teach: be bold, put yourself out there, be a business owner, do that, do this, do the other. That's what they teach in other countries. And then here in America, what do they teach you? Sit down, shut up, be a good employee. Job security is what you're looking for. We don't teach people how to be business owners. We don't teach people to take a risk. We teach people to stand in line. That's what we teach here in the U.S. It wasn't always like that. It wasn't. The hostile takeover started before 1978. Mm-hmm. It did. Started long before 1978. But I mean, the first step, read Marx's book, Karl Marx, 10 Pillars of Communism, this, that, and the other, all this other kind of crap. You'll see what they're actually looking for. You'll see what their goals are. All this is laid out in there. First step is taking over, first step is taking over the education system. And as far as socialism goes, the first step is taking over healthcare. What did they do back in 1978, and what did Obama do?
Right.
Yep. Give me your papers and follow orders. Exactly. It's all connected. All of this is just another part of the grand scheme and grand step of ruining the greatest experiment done in government in the history of this planet, and replacing it with just another, I don't want to say another brand of socialism, because I've never seen a good flavor of socialism. I've not seen it. I've not seen it. Have you seen it? Mm-mm. It always ends badly. It always ends badly. I mean, look at Venezuela. That's as close to true socialism as you have, and it's horrible for the people. It's great for the socialists, but it's really bad for the people. That's all I got, guys. Y'all have yourself a wonderful evening. Good night. Sleep tight, and if the bed bugs bite, bite them back. Take care. This has been The HoHo Show. For more information, you can head to thehohoshow.com. And for the merchandise store, you can head on over to stinkpickle.com. That is stinkpikle.com. Until next time.